Hey everybody, welcome back to New Toy Robot here on Twitch and later YouTube, if you missed this one. I'm Michael Jason Francis. Thank you for always coming back and watching. I'm just going to say this. By the power of Grayskull, I have the power. Now, if you're too young, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But if you're old like me, or you've been reading about how Kevin Smith is involved with bringing this show back, I'm talking about the Masters of the Universe. Yeah, that's right, the Masters of the Universe. I'm so excited about this. You see, okay, I didn't know that these figures were coming out. Way back in the day, I think it was like 2000 or something like that. There was like a commemorative set that came out. It was FAO Schwarz came out with the Masters of the Universe. Like it was like a 6-pack. I think it was a 6-pack. Was it a 6-pack? I think it was. Of He-Man figures. Old school He-Man figures. Not, they were remade, whatever, in 2000. And I bought it. And then what happened to me a lot of the times is I sold it on eBay. It happened to me with a lot of other things. And they were gone forever. And I regretted it. And to this day, I still regret it. But they're back. And not only are they back, these He-Man figures are back, they still have pretty much like the old sculpt of the original figures. But now they have like more articulation. So you can pose them a lot better. Anyway, we're going to get to that. I'm going to show you that. But I'm so excited because I had no idea. I literally got these. I walked into a Target, checking out the toys like I do, and He-Man was just there. He-Man was just hanging out by himself on a rack. There was nobody else. It was just He-Man. So I don't know why, like whoever was picking up these figures or whatever didn't take He-Man. Maybe there was too many of them. Who knows? All I know is He-Man was there. And then like a week later, his friend Skeletor, not really his friend, but his friend Skeletor was at Target. So this is all really exciting. I've been wanting to open these up, but if you checked out my other unboxing, Hatter is joining us on chat. And he says, "Really? What do you mean, really? What? What about He-Man?" I swear, I thought I told you I was doing this. Anyway, before I start unboxing, I'm going to talk a little bit. Now, I've talked about it already before. So these figures, originally He-Man figures came out in 1982. Now, I did a Tron figure unboxing and also discussed 1982. So, I'm going to talk a little bit more kind of like the pop culture stuff, not about like the price of homes and gasoline and stuff like that like I did before. But I am going to discuss some interesting facts like, did you know in 1982... You know when you type something and you type a little smiley face? Not the emoji, but just a little smiley face? 1982 was the year a computer scientist named Scott Fahlman, he first suggested using a smiley as a way of expressing emotion in an email. Now, I'm getting my information, like before, from thepeoplehistory.com, not sponsored. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Hatter came back. Yeah, Kevin Smith is rebooting it. Yeah, it's like a thing. Look it up. How do you not know this? But yeah, Kevin Smith, he's like the show lead or something for it. I don't know anything about it, but it is coming out this year, like for 2021. That's what we're in, right? Anyways, so I'm getting this information from thepeoplehistory.com. Like I said, they don't sponsor me, but I just really dig their site because they have so much information. This was also, let's see, I told you before, Michael Jackson released Thriller in 1982. Graceland, the home of Elvis Presley in 1982, was open to the public. I don't know if you're an Elvis fan. I'm not really. I don't know if I'd ever want to go to Graceland. But in 82, that's when it opened. Oh, and Grace Kelly, the actress Grace Kelly, who left and became a princess, like left Hollywood and became like a real princess, she died in a car crash in Monaco. So that's kind of a bummer. But popular films, I said this before, just to let you guys know, E.T., Rocky 3, On Golden Pond, yeah, okay. But we mentioned this before, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Poltergeist, Chariots of Fire, and Gandhi. was 1982. 1982 was such a crazy year. Besides Tron and all the cool He-Man figures and stuff like that, but it was just like, it feels like one of those, because like Annie, Poltergeist. I mean, Steven Spielberg and Toby Hooper, the guy who made Texas Chainsaw Massacre, made a movie together. Like 1982 was crazy. And the TV wise, you had Magnum PI, Dynasty, Falcon Crest, Hill Street Blues, Only Fools and Horses. I don't know. Knight Rider. It was a magical time, 1982. But yeah, He-Man. 1982 was the release of the He-Man figures. Now, what's really cool about this was basically, so He-Man was done by Mattel, and in 1982, Mattel released the original Masters of the Universe, but the series, the Masters of the Universe series, came out in 1983 by Filmation. So it was interesting because a lot of times with like Transformers, they were made specifically for the toy line. This toy line was basically in response because, from what I read, Mattel really wanted to be the people that brought out the Star Wars toys. They wanted that. Kenner got it, but they wanted it. So Mattel wanted to have something that would make kids rushing to the stores to buy their toys. But for some reason, they took Star Wars, remembered about Conan the Barbarian, I guess, and made these really buff action figures. Like, these figures are just covered in muscles. The women too were bulked up. I mean, it was just like, it was like watching, I can't say WWF anymore. That was now it's WWE, but when I watched it was WWF, but it's not anymore because of the World Wildlife Federation beat that in a court case, so now that's gone. Anyway, so it was like watching a wrestling cartoon, I guess. If you watch Conan the Barbarian, I liked watching Conan the Barbarian, maybe because it was an R-rated movie and I wasn't really able to watch those things. I don't know. But the swords, muscles, it was cool, you know. And so when the He-Man figures came out, see, when you got a He-Man figure, you didn't know anything about it because, like I said, the cartoon wasn't there. So when you got a He-Man figure, you had to read the comic book that it came from to kind of learn about everything. So basically, let's see here. I pulled up some stuff. You know, I kind of did a little deep dive into the Masters of the Universe to kind of see what was out there information-wise. And there's a He-Man.org out there. And it's actually kind of cool because you could basically see like every figure. There's so much information on there. The information I have that I'm going to be reading off is stuff that I know, and then stuff, you know, they had a couple of things I read on Wikipedia. But yeah, take a look at He-Man.org. Not sponsoring it, but that was a fun little. I swear, I felt like I was on there for like 45 minutes, not realizing I was even looking for anything, but just kind of delving back into all those figures. But here, let me just give you a quick rundown of Master of the Universe, that whole storyline. So, He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe, and his nemesis, the evil blue-skinned sorcerer Skeletor. Basically, we're fighting over prevent him from conquering Eternia, and also the Castle Grayskull. So Castle Grayskull, which I don't remember much from the cartoon, but apparently it was this huge magical place that everybody wanted a piece of, and it contained all this power and magic. Prince Adam, who was He-Man, spoiler, Prince Adam, when he would raise his sword, he would say, "By the power of Grayskull, I have the power," and he would turn into He-Man. Now, what was funny about that was that Prince Adam was equally as buff. He just wore clothes. He-Man wore clothes, but he wore like funny furry underwear and battle gear, I guess. But Adam, he was big and buff, but he had a cat, a tiger that was scared of like everything. I think his name was Cringer. Yeah, his name was like Cringer, and the cat was scared of everything. But when Prince Adam became He-Man, he would fire like a power blast towards his cat, which is kind of cruel. And the cat would become like Battle Cat and be all not scared and a little bit buffer. So it's weird that Prince Adam basically just became. Did he have a deeper voice? No, the voice was still the same. But that's how he would become He-Man, was with the sword. There was a sorceress. I forgot about this. There was a sorceress in Grayskull. So I guess this is kind of like King Arthur and all that stuff like that with Excalibur. But there was a sorceress in the Castle of Grayskull who I thought I remembered turned into like a hawk every once in a while. She gave him the sword and was kind of like his mentor, I guess. Um, and then there was Man at Arms and his adopted daughter Tila. I didn't realize she was adopted. I guess they never really went to that, but everything I read said that she's adopted. She was like the warrior princess. No, not really a warrior princess, but that was his daughter, and I think she was. I thought I read somewhere that yeah, she was like basically the king, the head of the palace guards. For that, there was now I thought Ram Man wasn't Ram Man like a villain, but I guess Ram Man was a good guy. I don't remember that happening. I always thought he was a bad guy. He was that funny toy that would spring up and bounce everywhere. And then Orko, which was that weird little, was he blue? I don't know. You could never really see his legs. He just had a big O on his shirt, and he would fly around. He had that hat. He was kind of a really bad sorcerer. But there was Orko. And then, did I say Man at Arms? Yes, I did. But yeah, Skeletor had Snake Mountain, which was a cool looking toy. I didn't have any of those. I had the figures, but I didn't have like the big play sets. They were more expensive, so I didn't have those. But those were really cool. So he had Snake Mountain, and then his crew was like Merman, Evelyn. Evelyn was pretty cool. Beastman, and then Triclops. Oh, wait. And there was one villain. He was my favorite villain out of all of them, Trapjaw. I don't know why he was my favorite. He was this big buff blue guy with like a hook for a hand and a metal jaw. Looked kind of like a pirate, maybe. Like a pirate Smurf. Like if he was like bulked up on steroids. But one thing, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm so excited about this. I have so much information, man. But there was something I read that Skeletor was actually like part of the royal family that was just like disfigured. Where did I see that? Anyways, he was a vengeful relative of the royal family, and his name was like Keldor. Was that what it was? It's like Keldor. When you're a kid and you're watching all this stuff, you're just like cool action stuff. Like I don't remember really listening to the story that much. But anyway, I want to talk more. Hold on. So in 1985, so the show lasted for like 2 seasons, and I think it wrapped up in, was it 84 when it finally wrapped up? In 85. So it lasted 130 episodes. So there was 130 episodes, and it wrapped up in 1985. But in 86, there was, no, it was still in 85. Yeah, in 85, there was a He-Man and She-Ra movie. And I think I remember seeing that in the theater. And that introduced She-Ra, who was like, what was it? I think she was his sister? His twin sister. Yeah, that was weird how that happened. Apparently he had a twin sister and she was all powerful and stuff. But she was like from a different universe. I thought there was like a whole other universe. Introduce Sister She-Ra. Well, yeah, twin sister She-Ra. I don't know. I thought it was another universe. And there was the villain there was Hordak, who was actually, if I remember stuff that I was reading, I thought he was like Skeletor's master or something like that. Anyway, so there was She-Ra. So She-Ra had her own series and she had her own crew. But then things kind of just went away, and they tried bringing the show back, and there was like character designs and at least figures. I don't know. It just didn't work. I didn't really dig it. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen for this new one that's happening. But these figures. Okay, I'm going to get to it. There was just one more thing. There was some interesting stuff here about the creation of this series. So basically, from what I was telling you, so Mattel began development of He-Man, the Master of the Universe, in the late 1970s because of the whole Conan the Barbarian and stuff like that. With these concepts drawn by Roger Sweet, Mark Taylor, Donald F. Glut, and several other contributors. Basically, the catalyst of the creation, this is what I was saying, is He-Man began in 1976 when Mattel's CEO, Ray Wagner, declined a request to produce a toy line of action figures. Oh, so basically, Mattel messed up. They were like, nah, I'm not going to make your Star Wars figures, Mr. George Lucas. And basically, because of that, the film's toy rights went to Kenner, And upon the commercial success of the film trilogy and the related merchandise, blah, 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 Mattel attempted to launch several unsuccessful toy lines, none of which captured the public's imagination. So basically, they threw a bunch of toys at kids, and He-Man and the Masters of the Universe is what stuck. So basically, what is this? Hold on. According to there was a book. There's a whole. So basically, a lot of this information I got. There's a whole book out there that was done by Roger Sweet, the lead designer who was working on Mattel. Sorry. Oh, it's not officially acknowledged by Mattel. Well, the book's not officially acknowledged by it, but still. But yeah, so He-Man was just like everybody else. There was all these different toy lines that were just trying to capture the magic that Kenner had with Star Wars. You know, G.I. Joe. You see, G.I. Joe already came about. G.I. Joe was like those bigger figures in the 50s and so on. So G.I. Joe was out. They were just trying to catch on to that by making the smaller three-quarter size ones, like Star Wars. But I'm trying to think. There was something else that was really cool that I wanted to say about it. Big Jim figure. What? I don't know. Anyways, that's all the information I have on that. I got to open these up. I'm too excited. I have all this information in my head. I just got to open these up. So let me show you what we got. Here they are. The packaging is exactly like it was for 1982. The only thing different with these is they now say modern posing retro play. So remember when I mentioned that they had the new articulation? So basically, this is exactly like it was. The face sculpts are different, and I'll talk a little bit more about it when we get it. I wish I had an original He-Man figure to show you guys. I have one of the storybooks, one of the He-Man cartoon storybooks. This is all. So there was no cartoon when the figures came out. You were just buying the figures to buy the figures. You'd have to read the comic, or there was some storybooks. This was before the cartoon. So you just bought these because they look cool. I still think they look cool as far as figures go. I'm gonna open here. Let's look at He-Man first. So here we go with Mr. He-Man. Okay, there's the whole pack. Here, I'm gonna throw it onto this one. Whoa, He-Man. On the back we have, with the magical power sword, the mighty He-Man protects Eternia from the forces of evil. Ooh, and it even says, comic book included. Modernizing and celebrating. I had this on tagline for when I was posting this. This is Kenner. Mattel saying, modernizing and celebrating the original 80s Masters of the Universe action figures. Masters of the Universe Origins. Oh, it's called Masters of the Universe Origins. Forgot. Gives you the power to pose Eternia's greatest warriors as retro style figures or in new action-packed battle positions. So, if you could take a look here, you see you have He-Man, there's Teela, Man-at-Arms, Skeletor, Evelyn, and Beastman. Now, this is like the wave one of them. So that's what they're showing here. But yesterday I was at Target, and they already had She-Ra, they had Merman, they had that robot guy. They didn't have Evelyn. If they did, I would have bought it. I almost bought She-Ra. I'm not gonna lie, I almost bought She-Ra. Because She-Ra's awesome too. I haven't watched the Netflix show, the new one, but anyways. So the packaging, all this stuff, it's exactly like how it was back in the day. Let's open this up. I wish I had the He-Man music playing. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Oh, here's the comic book. Oh, okay. So it's not old school comic book. It's not an old school comic. They are actually using. Let me get this out of the way here. It looks like they have a new artwork and everything. Originally, I don't know if you know this, but DC Comics were the ones that actually did the He-Man Master of the Universe comics. I'm curious if they worked on this at all. Oh, weird. This is 2019 Mattel. How is this? Okay. Interesting. I've just got these now, so I didn't realize they were out for that long. That's weird. here we go. So here's the comic book. This is all new artwork. Got Prince Adam chilling out. Evelyn. Snake Island. Haha. Snake Castle. I don't remember it now. Skeletor. Looks like Teela. Prince Adam here. See, here we go. By the power of Grayskull, I have the power. And he becomes He-Man. So you got... These are tiny. This is only like 4 pages long. I remember the comics being a bit more. Maybe not. But you got Beastman showing up here. They throw down. And they win the day in 4 pages. That's pretty quick. More of the characters on the back of that. This is pretty... Okay, so... Oh, my gosh. So, like with all the other collectibles out there now... Let me toss this aside. They just really just secure them in here. I didn't think they were going to have those, so I didn't have my little cutty thing ready to get them out. So, I'll get to that. Here's the weapons. I remember them being in little baggies. I remember that. It's just going to be this is going to just be a night of me just tearing things apart. Mechaneck! Yes! Mechaneck! Thank you, Hatter. Mechaneck. I forgot about him. Snake Mountain. Yes, Snake Mountain. Thanks, Hatter. Thank you, Hatter. So, here's the weapons. And this is pretty awesome. Okay. Let me get back to just me. So here's the sword. And I don't if you had these before, the sword would combine with Skeletor's sword. I wasn't sure they were going to do that again, and they did. So that is pretty freaking cool. They're the battle axe, shield. It's funny, the plastic feels different. I remember both of these being a softer plastic, but these are like the original weapons. Let me see if I can get him out of here. I hate... Oh, he's going to come out. Am I going to have to chew your arm off to get you out? Okay, so he's in here pretty good. By the power of Grayskull, I have the... Ow. He-Man, I am not. And that hurt. There's one. Oh, this is going to hurt. Okay, got it. Got it. Oh, his feet are bound too. Okay, tearing his feet off. Oh, Hatter says squish his head. As soon as I get him out, I'm going to squish his head. I'm going to squish his head. I'm going to see if he's got that rotating thing. Remember, a lot of these 80s figures, especially the G.I. Joe, had like a rubber band inside, and they kind of squish back and forth, like with the elastic. Let me just try and get... Okay. This is some good... Okay, there we go. He-Man is free, and he is awesome. This is so cool. Okay, hold on. Whoa, he's got just... These things are stuck in his joints. Okay, that's weird. No! He's got, like... Okay. Ugh. So he's... Okay, you can kind of squish his head a little bit. A little bit, not as much as before. So they're definitely made of something different. I'm curious to see what they were originally made of, because the plastic was so much different. And I know that sounds weird to talk about it, but as far as nostalgia goes, that would... Well, I'm smelling smelling the He-Man figure. He-Man figures had like that plasticky smell, Okay, so here is He-Man, and I'm going here. Let me get off of this. Back to me. It's a really cool figure. To still have that retro kind of feel to it, but have all this really cool articulation, like, that is really awesome. I mean, it's a cool figure. I don't know if anybody... Oh, wait, I have to do it. No! No, it doesn't. Oh, it doesn't do the thing. Now I'm upset. I wanted him to have that little rubber thing that would. Okay, honestly, a lot of times it would break. Especially, it was worth with GI Joe figures because if the rubber band thingy inside it broke, you had a bisected GI Joe figure. But he doesn't, because it was like his punching thing. It was like a whoosh, punching thing from the waist. Ah, that's a bummer. So I mean, it's. I'm curious if it is a different type of plastic. I'm gonna research that. I'm gonna look into it. Let me. I'm gonna. So he's got. It's cool. So on the back, you can actually put his sword in the back. I'm gonna keep his battle axe there. Oh, it works. This is such a cool figure. See, okay. Unless you were like raised during the 80s and buying toys during the 80s, I don't know what kid's gonna want this. The 80s were such an interesting time. I don't know what kids are gonna want this because one, he's just in these little furry underwear, so that might just scare kids scare kids away. Two, the whole sword and the stone, that whole. I don't know if people are into that anymore. They tried to make. I know they tried to redo the Conan the Barbarian movie with Jason. I want to call him Momoa. Aquaman. I think it was with him. I don't remember. And I watched it and I just didn't care. Like the '80s movies were cool with all the sword and sorcery stuff, with the practical effects. Um, Look at that. He is ready to save Eternia. They have a Battle Cat, so you can buy Battle Cat and then the purple Panther one that Skeletor would ride. You can get that, and I think there's other type of vehicles coming out. But look how awesome He-Man is. Oh God, this is really, really freaking cool. I don't think I'm gonna, I'm gonna buy Evil-Lyn, maybe Teela. But I don't think I'm probably gonna really buy any other ones. Okay, He-Man, you're right here, next to your comic book. But these are really, really cool, and they're not expensive too. I think this was like $14.99 for the figure. And as far as like toys go, I mean, like even some of the 6-inch Star Wars figures are like $30 now. It's ridiculous. Clearly, like, yeah, I don't, man. Like, I don't know how much kids are getting for allowance these days. But it must take you forever to save up to get a toy these days. Okay, so I'm opening up Skeletor. Wait, what does Skeletor have on the back? Hold on. Skeletor, the nefarious overlord Skeletor, wants to control the power within Castle Grayskull. Okay. Okay, so just has his staff. Wait, he better come with a sword. Oh no, there's a picture of him. He's got a sword. I like that. He better. Oh, wait. Man, it's the same comic. Boo. So how could you have the same comic? I think I remember the other comics were like origin stories, I thought. Man. Oh, man. He's nicely secured in here, too. Let me get his... There's his sword. Thank God he says sword. I need that sword. I thought they were origin stories in the original comics. I'm going to have to see. I wonder if they have the original comics on eBay. Like, the figures are expensive to buy an original figure. But I bet you can probably just get the comic book. Okay, let's try to... Oh! We got the He-Man down! There we go. Sword. And his staff. Look at this. It's like a ram's head. Dun, dun, dun. I'm having a heck of a time getting the plastic off. I gotta remember, always have a little cutty thing when I'm unboxing. Doesn't matter what it is. Because at some point, I'm not going to be able to get to it. And then you guys get to watch me try and struggle with plastic. Oh! Whoopsie! Down it goes. No, I can't get this part off. Got it. Okay. Going back to this, back just to me. So he's got his little ram head thing, which looks really blue on. It's purple. I swear it's purple, but in this universe it looks blue. His sword and that. I'm gonna get him out of here as well. Now, what I was saying, how the sculpts are different, besides the articulation and stuff like that. The original toy, his mouth wasn't open. And this one, his mouth's open. So that's cool. He looks a lot more menacing. Skeletor is always an interesting kind of character, you know. They gave him that really weird... He was always like, I'm Skeletor. Oh, this is not working out. He-Man foiled me again. He had like the worst voice. But, ow. The rubber bands in this thing are just killing me. Skeletor was really cool, but yeah, he just had the worst voice. They gave him the worst voice. And maybe that's just how it's supposed to be. But, hold on, I'm trying to get... I got it. Yeah. It gives him the worst voice. Did anybody see, I think it was 1987, Dolph Lundgren playing He-Man in the Masters of the Universe movie? Billy Bartlett was this weird elfish-like creature. And I don't remember who the other people were. And basically, it was He-Man coming to Earth. And Dolph Lundgren was He-Man. And I don't remember much about that, except that Skeletor was pretty ugly and creepy and good. It was played by Frank Angela? Frankel Angela? Low? I can't say his name for some reason. Happens a lot to me. Must be old age. He was Dr. Giggles. Look him up, because you're like, he was Skeletor? And then look at him as Skeletor, because it was crazy. So, here we go. Here's Skeletor. It's so cool to have these figures back. So he can either hold his sword. He doesn't. So the back of him doesn't have anywhere to hold anything. Which I thought there was something back here, at least for his sword with the original toy. And it's weird. I thought it's weird how it just kind of stops here. I thought these things went all the way around. So I'm gonna have him hold his staff, because I don't remember in the cartoon Skeletor using his sword much. I remember it was pretty much just this. But his head's not really that squishy. The original, like, I want to say, like, if you ever brought them in the pool or the bathtub, they would get water in their heads and they would just ooze the water out. I want to try and combine the swords together. See, I think this was only like a thing for the toys. I don't remember actually being in the cartoon. But you would merge the swords together. I have to watch the cartoon again. It's been forever. Because I don't remember... I remember this being an issue. The tip of it never would go together. It would always kind of separate apart. But the sword, yeah, it fits together. But I don't remember that being a thing in the cartoon. There's so much articulate. I'm not used to his wrists moving. Like, his wrists even move. Like, this is just crazy. So now he's got all the power. Skeletor's got all the ram. Because he's got a little ram head thing. And they're going to, like, throw down. Yeah, come on, He-Man. And He-Man was just like, I have the power. I don't remember. His voice always sounded like it was supposed to be like a Superman voice. I don't know why. I have to look up who did his voice for He-Man. But I remember, like, it sounded like a Superman voice from, like, the Super Friends cartoon. Anyways, so here they are. He-Man and Skeletor. They're really cool. I don't think they're that hard to get. You can get them on Amazon if you can't find them at Target. They do sell for $40 the original version of these figures in the packaging. I think it says as seen on TV kind of thing. I think it's like $40 to $60, and it's the straight up just the regular version of these figures. But just spend $14 and get these, because these are really, really cool. They are going into that case back there, so they can just throw down and battle over Eternia for like an eternity. Is that a thing? No idea. But check it out. Thank you once again for joining us here. Us. Us. We're a family. Joining me here again for this unboxing. Unboxings are every Monday night. Lots of fun, different things that will happen. Come here on Wednesdays for some Lego builds. And please come on Friday and join us as we draw. Get some like creativity out and do creative artsy things. Always at 7:15 on Twitter. Twitter! I am on Twitter. We are on Twitter at New Toy Robot. Same on Instagram at New Toy Robot. But join us here for the live streams on Twitch. If you missed the show, it's okay, because you can come and watch it on YouTube for New Toy Robot on YouTube. All the links and all the fun stuff are here on Twitch. But you can also, like I said, follow on Instagram, on Twitter. That's it, guys. Thank you again. I am Michael Jason Francis. Please see us again, like I said, 7:15, always for our live streams. And I will see you on Wednesday.